Hey, we're talking about one pieces for your boudoir session. It's time for another lingerie short. Hey, I'm Trevor, and I run Provocateur Images here in Toronto, Canada. And with over 9 years of experience, the one thing that I have learned in this time is that everybody needs a little bit of help when it comes to selecting the right lingerie for their boudoir session. So I've come up with this series of videos to help you out. And as I mentioned at the onset, we're talking about one pieces. They are absolutely one of my favorite outfits that someone can bring in because they work with every single body type without question, some better than others when it comes to different cuts and shapes and stuff. But overall, they're forgiving. They work with everybody. They're so good and they're highly underrated. So let's talk a little bit about what to look for. So what I've got here is I've got a few examples, basically three different types of lingerie that you might consider as far as one pieces go. The first one's kind of a halter top, so this will usually tie up or have a strap or just like a loop over your neck kind of thing. And then usually a very, very, very deep plunge line to some seam that runs through the middle of your body. Not bad if you've got a relatively medium-sized chest. I'm gonna say these are a terrible idea for someone with a small chest because it will completely flatten you out. You will not see any shape of the body at all with something like this. And if you have a really large chest, or maybe you've had kids and maybe your boobs aren't quite where you want them to be, this provides absolutely no support. But if you do have you're quite happy with your chest and everything's kind of where you want it to be, this looks pretty good. But just keep in mind, something like this is going to be an equipment malfunction waiting to happen, because basically every time you roll or move or lay on your side, you're going to be falling out of this thing because there is no support. And most of the boxes you'll see that have the picture on it or the mannequins, they're standing up straight. So, because boudoir has a lot of different poses that are not just standing up, these can be a little tricky to shoot, but not impossible, and I think they look great. The second thing that I want to draw your attention to is like when you see a one piece where you start getting either an underbust wire, or you might actually see like an underbust piece of material that goes right below the breast to provide a little bit of extra support for things. Now this one I chose because it brings out some really good thing to look for. And I'm just going to draw right over this. There's some lines on this, and they basically create like an hourglass and trick the eye into giving you a shape you either don't have because you're maybe very slender and don't have like a wide hip, or if you're curvy, it actually accentuates those curves and makes you look even more amazing. So looking for things like these lines are really important, and I am a big fan of lines that either make a V or if we go to the next one, actually maybe a little different from this, but create a line like this where it's going to create a natural hourglass shape. Now this one on the right is arguably shapewear, and there is nothing wrong with shapewear. This is not your grandma's lingerie closet, as it were. A lot of these shapewear things you can buy today are really good. And you'll find that these are good to be worn under a dress or something later on. But this particular outfit, these vertical lines, I'm just going to erase this real quick here. But these vertical lines are not bad. I love how they match right up with the garter line, so it creates a nice optical flow. You've got support here if you have a larger bust. And there's like nice little lingerie detailing right here. So these are really, really nice pieces if you start going to look for stuff like this. But let's look for a second at stuff that could be better. These three outfits are actually pretty good. However, there's just a couple things that I want to point out to you that you should be aware of when you're looking for something like a one piece. This strappy thing over here on the left, love from basically the bra up. This little thin strappy thing, I always try to avoid those because I don't care who you are. You could be like the fittest person in the world. These things just gouge into you all the time. And sometimes some outfits have like 3 or 4 of them. Sometimes just one thicker one is all you need. But I mean, I do kind of like this diamond pattern, which is kind of nice. But it's just the strappy aspect of that. If you're not like super toned, thin straps, usually not the best option for you. This next one, love the underbust kind of seam. It's thick. It provides a lot of support without actually having a wire in there. So this is great for people with larger busts and some curves. The only thing I would like to see with this particular outfit, because I love this one to death, I'd love to see this maybe come up a little higher on the hip. All right, because what you always want to avoid, you never want lines going straight across horizontally, like kind of like a boy short kind of thing. Never a flattering look. It's very, very rare you're going to find that works for many body types. Even people who have like no hips, that is the exact thing you want to avoid. If you have smaller hips that, like you want to have something high-waisted, which looks a little better. Now, to that point of that straight across line, here's one right here. Don't love it. I would much rather not see that seam there. I would love to see that seam either come in here or right below the bust line. I love the plunging neckline on this, and I love the sleeves, but this particular outfit I think could have been a little bit better, and I probably would say to most people, don't purchase something like this. I love the plunge, but I don't like this line across here because it's going to make it look like you have a tummy fold, and that's not what we want. So let's go to one last thought I have for you when it comes to buying a one piece. Now, a lot of times, a lot of manufacturers put all the effort into the front side of this. So you can see like right here, there's the side seam, and from the back, they basically just put like the simplest possible material across the back. Front of this, amazing. Love the straps, love the plunging neckline. Yeah, maybe this could be a little higher because it would also elongate the torso when that's a little higher up, but not the end of the world. What I'm most concerned about is the back. I would have loved to see this have actual kind of like lacy undies instead of just this thong. I think that you can, when you get something more of a bikini cut rather than a thong, I can do way more interesting things when it comes to the overall bum shots, which everybody loves. Not to say this is a bad outfit at all. I really, really like this. And as far as a thongy kind of back thing goes, this is an ideal situation. But just make sure when you buy a one piece, especially if you're buying like box lingerie, which I really don't want you to do, but if you have to, make sure you have a look at what the back side looks like as well, because I've had a lot of shoots where I've had people come in and, like we can photograph the front, but the back's really just nothing to speak of because either it's just strappy bits or it's just kind of like meh. Sometimes you just got to look at both the front and the back because both are important in a boudoir session. So all that being said, I hope these are some tips that give you a little, taste of what to look for. And if you like the video, make sure you like and comment and all that kind of stuff, and subscribe if this is on YouTube, as far as where you're watching it. So until next time, this has been a Provocateur Images Lingerie Short. I'm Trevor, and I hope to see you in my studio soon. Talk to you later. Bye.